Hello, good evening. Or rather, good afternoon. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Now, I'm here a little earlier just because I have a change of schedule, but this live will be posted on YouTube. And also, I'm going to be heading on over to Instagram in a quick minute to continue there. Hi there, 321, Shanto, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Now, I'm taking questions here on TikTok and I'm also taking questions on YouTube. Today's going to be a quick live just because I have a changed schedule for today. But what I do want to talk about is I want to talk about getting immigration relief. That's your work permit. That is your permanent residence, even after divorce. Yes, there is a way to do this. Now, if you have been married, if you were married to a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, but you then got a divorce, then that legal permanent resident or U.S. citizen spouse mistreated you, then you would be able to apply for your own permanent residence. And while you're waiting for your permanent residence, you could also apply for your work permit. Now, here's the catch. The clock is ticking once you have finalized your divorce, because then that means that you have at least 2 years to apply from the date of your divorce. Hi there on YouTube. So nice to see you. So as long as you apply within 2 years after your divorce, then you could still apply for this. So if you're in a situation where you're divorced from a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, and you've been divorced for less than 2 years, there is hope for you to still gain relief when this spouse mistreated you. What does mistreatment look like? It does not mean that you have to be physically abused, doesn't mean that the police had to get involved, but this could involve verbal, emotional, financial abuse or mistreatment or extreme cruelty. When we say extreme cruelty, I mean, were they vindictive towards you? Were they doing things to intentionally hurt you? Were they intentionally trying to hurt you? If this was something that was happening throughout your marriage, then you could still qualify for this, even if you are now divorced. So that's what, and the type of relief I'm talking about is VAWA. So if you're in a situation like this, go ahead, give the office a call. You can go to the link in the profile. You can go to the link in the About Us page on YouTube, and you will be able to get to the website, call, you can do online chat, or you can do the online contact form. You can even schedule your own appointment if you go to the contact page. So many different ways to get in touch with us, to schedule your appointment so that I can confirm you qualify and then get started right away to get you ready and set for your immigration relief to move forward with your life. Here's another thing you should know. This relief is available to you even if you're currently out of status. If you're currently out of status, then you came in without permission, you overstayed your visa, this is still available for you. And the thing that I'm talking about today is after divorce. This relief is available after divorce as long as you've submitted it at less than 2 years after your divorce. Once it hits that 2-year mark, you have lost the opportunity. So the clock is ticking. Get the legal advice and representation you need. When we confirm our clients qualify, we get started right away and we treat every case with urgency to get their case in, because we understand that your life is behind it, and that the immigration relief that you receive is going to be very important to moving forward and building your life and making your life complete in the United States. Thanks so much for the love on TikTok, and thank you for watching on YouTube. I'm going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and put your questions in the comments. It can be anything that's immigration related. So put those questions in the comments. I will answer. Today's going to be a short live just because I have a change schedule today, but usually I'm here Mondays through Fridays at 4:30 p.m. Next week is also going to be a different schedule just because I will be on the move next week. But whenever I can, I will hop on the live. So make sure you're following me. Hi there, Vibes Cartel Vine. So nice to see you. Thanks for the love. And thanks for the love, everyone who is sending love. I appreciate it. This is very encouraging. Now, next week, I will have a change schedule as I am going to be on the move. So what you can do is make sure you're following me. And then as soon as you get notification, I'm live, go ahead, hop on and join me for the live and just to catch what I'm going to talk about. Thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Now, I see some questions coming in. Remember, you're free to ask questions on YouTube and you're free to ask questions on TikTok. So let's hop on to the questions on TikTok. Let's see. How long for a fiancé visa filed June 2021? So it's going to be a range of time. It's going to depend on the quality of your application, who is the service center, at what stage is it? Is it at the National Visa Center? Is it still at the USCIS? But I would say expect an 18-month process for the fiancé visas. Can we exempt from civic tests? Yes, there is a way to be exempt. But you do have to show that, so there are a number of ways, right? If you meet certain age requirements and the length of time that you've been here, that may be one way. If you have a disability or an illness that's preventing you from taking the exam, then that could be another way. So it just depends on your circumstances. I assist with citizenship, so you can always get in touch. So why do Mexicans have to go back to Mexico for their interviews? Is there a way to avoid that? There may be under certain circumstances. That's where a consultation is going to be very important. But it's not just Mexicans that have to go back. But what happens is that because Mexicans are right on the border with the United States, many immigrants come from Mexico, just come across the border without inspection or admission. And when they do that, when anybody does that, they come across the border without permission, they're not allowed to stay here and apply unless they meet certain exceptions. Those exceptions would be VAWA, for example, if they've been a victim of trafficking, if they've been a victim of a crime, then those may allow them to stay here and apply for humanitarian relief or their permanent resident. However, generally, when you're applying through a family member and you've crossed the border without permission, you maybe came by boat, you came across the border, then it's not going to allow you to apply for the U.S. isn't going to allow you to apply for the green card here, and you have to go through a special waiver process. So, Mariama, I answered that question. The answer is no. Due to language, no. Now, unless you meet certain age requirements, if you do, then, so for example, if you're over the age of 50 and you've been here for over 15 years, then that may lead to you getting an exemption, or not an exemption, but an easier test. But just not being able to speak the language is not by itself going to qualify you. Now, if, say, for example, you speak the language, you speak a different language and you have a condition that's preventing you from learning English, then at that point, there is the argument that can be made that it's at this point you don't have the capacity to learn a different language because of your disability. So it's all going to depend. That's where it's important to schedule a consultation to discuss what your particular circumstances are. Hi, lawyer. What happens in an individual court? So, if this is an immigration court, you should get a notice to appear. If you get a proper notice to appear, you will have the name of the court, the place, the time, and also your information and the charge, your immigration charge. Now, if you, the first, usually you'll attend the master calendar hearing. That's going to be the first hearing where you're going to state you're going to state your defenses. And then if the judge is going to determine whether they're going to accept that, and the judge also creates a schedule. And the judge may, at the master calendar hearing, the judge may, maybe they may continue the case, maybe they may delay it, maybe they will schedule the individual hearing. But the individual hearing is where it's like a final trial, where that's where the judge is going to listen to what your arguments are, listen to what your lawyer's arguments are, and then determine whether you have, whether you can be granted relief or you have to be removed. So let's see. Great questions so far. Let's see. Keep them coming. After getting my work permit through asylum, can I speed up my interview? So no, but the work permit does allow you some relief while you're waiting. It usually means that you're 365 days into the process. So you're at least 1 year down, but it doesn't by itself allow you to speed up your process. How can I schedule a consultation? So Mariama, you can go to the link in the profile. You'll see various options there on TikTok. So the link in my profile. You will see an option to schedule and confirm your own appointment. You can also go to the website. When you go to the website, you'll see the phone number, you see the contact form, and you will see the online chat. All three lead to the scheduling coordinator who will help you if you can't, if you don't want to schedule your own appointment. Then you can get the assistant from the scheduling coordinator. Scheduling coordinators are available up until 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. My wife has green card holder, so I have to go back to my country for country or stay here. Hilon is going to depend. That's where the consultation is going to be important. If you're out of status, you haven't maintained your status, you've overstayed already, or you came in without permission, the odds are against you that you're going to be able to apply here, but there are exceptions to the rule that we would want to explore as well. So Hilon, that's where it's important to schedule the consultation, because remember, the information I'm giving you here is not personalized legal advice, and you could be missing out on potential options for yourself when you don't schedule a personalized consultation where you can get legal advice specific to you. So that's where I highly encourage you to schedule that consultation to confirm all your options and then get started right away. Once I find that my clients qualify, we get started right away. If a spouse who has been sponsoring sponsor have Medicaid insurance, will that affect the case? They're going to look at your spouse's income and not necessarily the Medicaid that they receive. So while I don't know your case, I'm not the attorney, I wouldn't be able to advise you specifically. Rarely does Medicaid by itself disqualify a spouse from sponsoring their spouse. Now, if there are other details that's missing here, then that's where the consultation is going to be important. Great questions. These are great questions so far. Canadian national currently in Canada and misplaced green card. What are options for getting back to the U.S.? So it's gonna depend on what do you mean by you misplaced. Did you just go there and you lost it? Have you been in Canada for a while? That's gonna require consultation for sure. Now, if you just lost it, you could go to the embassy to gain assistance there. And you can also apply for the misplaced, and they'll send you what's like a notice to, you could go there to get an I-551 stamp. So it just depends on what the circumstances are. Did you lose it years ago? Did you just lose it yesterday? And if you just lost it yesterday and you really need to get back, then contact the consulate and see what assistance they can give you. Any fees or charges for the consultation? Absolutely. There is a $150 charge. And the reason that I do charge for my consultations is because I am giving you legal advice, which is of great value. I do a detailed evaluation of each of my each person that schedules. They get a detailed evaluation so that I can determine all your options. So you walk away knowing what your options are. You avoid mistakes. You have an idea of what your next steps should be, and should you qualify, you get the option of legal representation going forward. Can pending asylum apply for advanced parole and travel document? So now advanced parole may be an option. However, whether it's advisable to apply for it is going to depend on what your situation is, Paul Nelly. Not usually. It doesn't pending asylum doesn't automatically come with the advanced parole, but if there's an emergency, there may be an option, but there are other factors to keep in mind, right? Like, are you going back to the country that you're afraid of returning to? Is that where you want to go? So these are, or is there another country that you have ties to? And these issues could affect your asylum. So get legal advice and guidance. You're welcome, D. Helen. Great questions. I have indefinite leave to remain. Can I bring my wife and daughter to the UK? So I'm not sure if this is U.S. immigration related. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney. I am not a UK immigration attorney. So can I do AOS if I just came back with advanced parole? I have DACA and I'm married to a U.S. citizen. So it's going to depend. There have been situations where you're able to be paroled, but I would have to understand what your situation is exactly. That's a bit more complex, and that's where we need to schedule the consultation because your case falls within the complex category. So schedule that consultation. Now the policies have bounced back and forth on this, and so that's why it's really going to depend on the current policy and what your situation is. I was detained at the border when I was a minor. So if you were and now you're trying to figure out your options, schedule that consultation. How long does an I-485 take? They received my application on September, so it could be anywhere from a couple months to about 18 months. So any recent news on DACA? So nothing new right now. It's still a new DACA, granting any new DACA benefits is still on hold. However, if you're renewing, then you still have a shot there. Is there any difference between deportation and voluntary departure? So if you're ordered deported, you're inadmissible for a number of years, could be 10 to 20 years. If you are granted voluntary departure, then it doesn't go on your record as a deportation, and you have a chance at coming back without having the deportation on your record. How long does it take to get a green card? It depends on what type of green card. There are different ways to get a green card, and how long it's going to take is going to depend on are you going through an employer? Are you going through a family member? Are you going through asylum? Are you going through the T or the U? So these are the questions. All right, so these are great questions. Thanks so much for all your questions. So you're Victor, you said you're on L1. So if you're on L1 and you are current, the country that you're from is current, then you could be looking at, I say prepare for an 18-month process when it comes to employment base, if you are current. All right, so thanks everyone for all your questions. I am heading on over to Instagram to do a live there. If you want to continue to ask your questions, go ahead and hop on over there. I will be available. I'm the immigration attorney on Instagram. So hop on over there. If you need specific legal advice, then that's where you're going to have to schedule that consultation. You're welcome, Brian. Go to the link in the profile. You'll see everything you need to go ahead and schedule that consultation so we can get started on your case ASAP. We want to make sure you are aware of your options. We want to see if you qualify for a specific option, and then we get started right away, and we treat everybody's case with urgency. So have a great one. I will see you throughout the days. For the next week, my schedule is going to be irregular, but I will be working on hopping on so that we can talk about various issues still, even though I'm going to be on the move. So I just keep an eye on the page, look out for when I'm live. If you don't catch me, then just hop on over to the YouTube channel. It's The Immigration Attorney, or The Immigration Attorney at Instagram. I'll be hopping on live on any one of those platforms. Have a great one. Thanks for the follow, Brian. Thanks for the love, everyone. Thanks for your really relevant questions. You made my day. And I will see you tomorrow or throughout the next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.